Hey everybody, welcome to the In Layman Terms podcast where there's no fluff, just facts. I'm going to introduce an amazing man of faith and much, much more, Harlan Merriam. And this is a man who has been instrumental in so many ways in my journey. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Great to be here with you, Tom, and wonderful to talk to the folks that might be tuning in here or later on this. Yep. Look forward to this conversation.
Absolutely. Tell everybody your bona fides first. Nice way of ooh.
Whatever bona fides are.
I know.
I'm married to a woman that I went to kindergarten with.
I love that.
And we've now been married 54 years. Barbara. Boy, she's put up with me for a long time.
They do, don't
and
they?
And she knew me very well and married me anyway.
Her problem.
And then we have two sons, father of two sons. One's in New Zealand, one's in Colorado, a long ways away. And three grandchildren, rock climbers, fascinating boys. Mm-hmm. I guess years ago, an older woman came to me and says, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm a pastor here, and I'm this, and I'm this." And she said, "Who are you, really?" And I answered a little bit more, and she said again, "Who are you?" And I eventually came in, "I'm a sinner in the sight of God, living in God's grace." Thank you for asking. Mm-hmm. So I've been a pastor 50 years, seminary 50th reunion this past spring.
Never your thought either, was it?
50 years ago. And I was not planning to go to seminary at that point, mm-hmm. 50 years ago, but got challenged by a custodian who pulled me aside and challenged me. And then a colonel in the military that challenged me. It wasn't my pastor, it wasn't a Sunday school teacher, it was these two men who said, "There's something more there, Harlan, mm-hmm. and go give it a shot, go give it a shot." And the military at that point gave me the opportunity to take a year, and it took. Mm-hmm. God used me the last 50 years now. Yeah.
It's good to be used that way, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because then you walk in purpose, mm-hmm. right? And just, so I was a non-believer, not in faith, but when it comes to masterminds and coaching, mm-hmm. I saw a post Harlan gave, I think it was 2020, because we started in 21. And it was a rope, cord of 3 strands. And then I reached out, because I've known you at that point for a couple years. Mm-hmm. We're both members of a local RIA. Mm-hmm. We have friends in common. Right. We talked, and then I joined your mastermind. And that was the springboard into everyone I've been to and the coaching I've been involved with since, because I said, I need so much more of this.
Now, life's about relationships. I did
100%.
A piece last week with some folks around the world, and they were talking about individual things, and my relationships are important. And
100%.
The people that are in our life, you and I were talking earlier, mm-hmm. the people in our life...
fountains or drains.
Yeah. are so important. And a mastermind is a place that we create a space with each other. There are different kind of masterminding
Absolutely.
out there. We've created a space with us and some others where it's safe and we can be real and we can be supportive of each other and we can challenge each mm-hmm. other and see growth happen. And it's really pretty exciting.
You know, we fast forward to that was 20, and then last year was 24, and you came to me and said, and I didn't know Greg Bond yet, mm-hmm. and now I do really well. And the three of us had a meeting in, I forget where, we were in Panera Bread.
Panera Bread and
you took
Winter
the train in Winter Park, right? And now we're almost fast forward a year from that date, mm-hmm. okay? And I look at this group and it's like, wow, because we were thinking so big and further afield. It turned out we know everybody. Some of them wouldn't even date Christian. Now they're in a Christian entrepreneur group. And I think that's the power of it.
And that was the risk of it for me. A pastor for many years. I've done faith groups for mm-hmm. decades. And as a real estate entrepreneur, I had done some kind of secular real estate entrepreneur groups. But putting the two together, will they come together? And boy, has it come together this past 9 months. We started back January. And
it's grown.
Quite amazing.
We've had some more. We've had some leave.
Yeah.
But I I just look at the core group and how powerful this is and how powerful it's becoming as we dive in deep and we get this really focused as we're doing, because it takes time. You know, there's beta tests and then there's figuring it out and then there's like trying this. But, you know, it is an amazing group in a weekly discussions, because first of all, we do it at 6 a.m. That is not a happy place for a lot of people. But everyone's there. Okay.
Yeah, weekly is important to me. There are
agree.
masterminds that meet monthly and quarterly and other yearly, whatever, and those are okay. I think the weekly piece just builds in, again, back to scripture, this 7-day week rhythm in life.
Well, yeah.
And to be together that much, not too much, but that much, at least it's enough.
I see people in the group yearning for more, though.
Yes.
Yes. That's the beauty when you know it's clicking correctly, because they're not saying, you know, but we do the weekly meeting, which is great for accountability. Then we have our individual accountability partners for another call separately. But then we meet once a quarter for the day.
Yeah.
And the accountability that the weekly meeting plus the one-on-one and then the quarterly.
Yeah. Yeah, you went through a different kind of quarterly this past week, didn't you?
Right down the hall.
Yeah. But being in person, we're using technology to Zoom. It saves us some time so we can really put the time in here. But getting together in person there's some power to that.
We flew in somebody who's one of our business unit leaders from Texas. You know, we're doing a quarterly culture meeting. Instead of doing like little 10-minute stuff, we're doing tree trek. We're going to go ziplining as a team. And then we have people who are international work for us who can't be there. So we're giving them a different day because they're just as important. Hey, you're not forgotten. This is what we're doing for you guys. And we're going to mind the store when you have your day, okay? Because I don't want them to be left out. But the power of that the in-person that we do quarterly is so important, because we're a virtual office. I know the future that's going to have to change. I'm not a big fan of that, but I understand it's coming. But
So it's a hybrid that works, huh?
Right.
To be able to use international folks, others.
Those are like...
I mean, I was on with eight international folks this morning for an hour. India, Ireland, back in Hungary. I mean, just a fascinating group of people.
Yeah, we have Central America and the Philippines. Now, they were in the meeting because, you know, some were in only half day, some were in for the full day, depending on where they are with us. But they are valued.
Yeah, let me come back at you. Because you and Greg and I said, let's give it a try. Let's take the risk and pull faith in with business, with personal life. Those working together, where all of those are hitting, all those cylinders are hitting our life. How do you see that as working? I see it. I mean, I'm a pastor for 50 years. I mean, an Army chaplain for 30-some years of that. How do you see that working? And I know there are people that say, I don't want to have that in anything.
But if it's in your personal life, how can you not have it in your professional? Are you going to hide something then? So I'm sure you've seen a lot of people who say they're Christian and words and actions are completely different. So I hope by this group growing, it enhances my faith. But my business is built on this premise that we are a Christian entrepreneur company. We do a lot of charity work. We don't brag about it. We don't show it like that because that's not what we're going to do. But we walk that walk. Like every year when we forecast our numbers, I guarantee you if we give ourselves a pay raise, we give more to charity instead because we don't need it. And we're blessed. My wife and I, we grew up dirt poor. And our children see that. We make them go serve with us when we donate. When we go to donate at the places we help finance, they don't know this is our stuff or that we're the benefactors. We don't want that. We're just here to help, okay? Because then it's real, okay?
Yeah. That's important to take our faith. And one of the things I like about this mastermind particularly is it's just It's a part of who we are. Some of us have been at it for decades. Some of us are just getting into it.
That would be me when I got 5-6 years.
Yeah, and yet we accept each other. It's the conversations are deep. All of us grow being in this with each other.
Yeah,
it's really quite amazing.
And you could see the people who don't want to open up so much starting to crack a little, right? Because some of them are really bad at asking for help.
Yeah, and it's good for all of us, wherever we are on that spectrum with that. I still remember a guy who was in an early morning. It was a 6 o'clock in-person meeting.
Love
of
him.
A bunch of guys. And one of them, we would pray, and different people would pray, and he said, I don't pray with a group. And it was fascinating. After about a year, he said, could I pray today? That he had grown, seen, modeled, got comfortable, felt safe. Isn't that wonderful?
It's, it's part of what you need. I know I need it, okay? I need that Tuesday morning. I have Sunday at church. This is different, but it's part of the piece of it. And I just was out in Phoenix. I did Steve Trang's podcast, and he asked me what my superpower was. Asking for help, I said.
Wow.
I'm really good at that now. Yeah.
What has that taught you to get in touch with that superpower?
Well, as men, we're taught we don't need to do that, right? As an entrepreneur, you better learn how to do that. Okay? My first year, we stunk. You would never know it. Then I hired Marlena Dates, right? Who kicked my butt.
Oh, she can do that.
Yeah, that nice Christian school mom, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. If it was, say, Josh on that Zoom that night, the conversation probably would have went differently. And I remember I had to have these 5 questions answered. She annihilated me. And I was like, she almost said, are you stupid? Like, what are you thinking? And I was like, okay, my plan, it was COVID, and I had to take care of my daughter that night. We were not in a good place financially, especially when I'm only making $4K for the year. My plan was to quit the next day, and I paid her $997, and I couldn't afford to lose it. And I was going to just walk away. My plan was right there.
Yeah.
I remember exactly. It was bathe the daughter, dinner, baby shark night, Cocomelon, right? Love it. Woke up the next morning and said, the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
And I became a sponge in this business and in life in general.
What turned that over? What was the catalyst there? Marlena's toughness with you?
Her brutal honesty.
And you're realizing that I can't do it myself?
And that my whole life I was somebody, I wasn't a hard worker. I did what I was really good at, and the rest of the stuff fell to the side. I figured, like everything else, this will just work. It did in real estate. I had to become a hard worker. I'm an incredibly hard worker now, and I was already working on that, but I had to be open to needing help. I had no problem calling up somebody asking for help in that, because this business, like we talked about earlier, life is relationships. If you're transactional in this business, you're in trouble. You have to be able to ask somebody for something without there being a quid pro quo and be available for them. There's not God's keeping the ledger book, not us.
Eager to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. Generous. Learn that in life.
But you still have to guard time.
Definitely.
Because
you got to be able to say no.
We will give it away and not have any left, right? Yeah. That's why I have Jeannie. If you can get past her, you're good, right? But even with I have free coaching clients that had to get past her, and she's like, no, this one you talk to. I'm like, why? Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Right? Because we won't do that so much, will we?
Yeah.
I
learned masterminding, Tom, from in the 75th Division. So we're serving a 2-star general in a big division. And the chief of staff, who runs the general
Can I ask
staff,
one question?
Yes.
That's not the mountain division, right? No. Okay. Because my brother was in the 70-something at one point.
Yeah. And the chief of staff runs the staff. The general comes sit with us from time to time. We ask, sir, what do you need? And we go make that work. And so I'm the chaplain. There's a personnel guy there. There's a finance guy there. There's operations guy, all the people. And the chief of staff, we'd have staff meetings. At staff meetings, you don't ask for help. But he'd pull us together at a restaurant for breakfast on Friday mornings. the staff, all colonels. And we learned there to ask each other for help.
Yeah.
And then to help each other. I need some help pulling this together. The guys are coming back from overseas and they're reconnecting with their spouses. How can we get something where we can get, the soldier and their spouse together for a weekend so they can reconnect?
Yeah.
So the person that knew how to get money.
There you go.
We're having a trouble in our group right now here in the headquarters. Chaplain, can you come in and have a conversation with us? And so we learned to ask for help.
So we have, I'll call my senior staff, which is my business unit leaders. Each one runs one of our completely separate companies in our ecosystem. And we have a weekly, we call it a RISE meeting, but they're allowed to ask for help there. Non-emergency stuff is there. They can always reach out. Emergencies are different, right? But so just like each one of them has a daily huddle with their team, I have a daily huddle for 5 or 10 minutes with each one of them.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you need? Like one is sick today in operations because I had walking pneumonia. Everyone has something similar. He sounds like he's going to croak. You're done. You go to doctors. And now we changed how things were reported today because I heard this. No, you're not working today. Go. But that's what a daily huddle for us. That's where you can daily ask. That's an emergency thing or just, maybe it's 5 minutes. Maybe it's 15. It's nothing crazy. But I like to check in with these units. Sometimes they don't need it. Hey, I'm good today, boss. You good? I'm great. Save time. Sometimes they need more. Okay? But that's the availability.
That's your willingness to invest in them.
Those are, everybody in my company now, I believe, is the catalyst for where we're going. I call them the foundation now. My foundation is complete because I feel that way. Because, July was a meltdown. And I can't believe just by changing what needed to be, what I should have changed earlier. 90 days later, I went away for 2 weeks and nothing broke. Wow.
That's something, isn't it?
Went away for 14 days.
Would you have seen that?
No. I didn't even realize it when I was gone so much because I'm different time zones, right? So when we have our normal 8 o'clock, it's 5 a.m. for me. And though I'm up, I'm not up for that. Okay, and then when I could talk, they're not available. Life went on. Business was fine. Nothing blew up. Why? The right people in the right seats. I believe that when you hire the best you can, give them the resources needed, inspire them with purpose, and get out of their way. It's that simple. Because when we bring people on now, it's this like 90-day change. We put people into a seat. It's you and I, you watch me do it. Then we do it together, and now I watch you. And then you go.
And then you can leave.
Yeah. To a certain degree.
Yeah.
But now if any one of those companies need to bring me in, you know what they have to do? Pay me. And I'm not cheap. Because then you'll just be a crutch for them, right? Yeah. I'm always available, don't get me wrong, but it has to be used correctly. Because I have other things to do. I got to be here with you, right? But my job as the CEO is vision, direction, and revenue. And the only management I have job, you know what it is? It's part of leadership. Leadership is managing the future. They manage today. Today is done. That's on them.
That's where the vision, and that was the first thing you said there, is that where are we going? Where's that? I'm getting ready to run a 10-miler on Thanksgiving.
Every year.
Thanksgiving
Turkey
morning.
trot.
Yeah, so I can eat some extra pie that afternoon.
Love pie.
But I got in a coaching call today with a excellent marathon trainer and trainer in India, and he just walked me through nutrition, training schedule, get you ready, this, that, the other, all those things. And then he came down at the end. He says, "And Harlan, you need vision. You need pick out something out in the future on your run, a tree, a telephone pole, and as you get closer, look at it in detail. And when you reach it, pick another one."
Another one. When I ran, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Because I was up to running 8 miles a day years ago. I can't do it because it's bone on bone. I wish I could. It was and I was an anti-runner, and I fell in love with it. The adrenaline. Oh my God.
And to get into flow.
I did 8
Almost
miles
lost.
daily in California
Almost
and in
lost
Florida,
in it.
right?
Yeah.
I remember one day for my birthday, it was August. I'm in Florida. What are you going to do for your birthday? I'm going to go run 8 miles at 1 o'clock in August. They're like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Oh, on a treadmill. Oh, no, not on a treadmill.
And the
I
sun.
never run on a treadmill, right? And it was just that, like, that was who I wanted, like, but, you know, life changes. We get older. I can't,
Yeah,
you know.
bodies change, lots
Yeah.
of things.
And
commitments.
but it's still, but look how so quickly. So you're doing a run and you're going to talk to a coach, right?
Yeah, and we all need help. Ah, back to that one, huh?
You know, we don't know how long we have. We should grow every day. How do we do that? Learning. Coaching is a part of that. Okay? If you're a professional in anything, athlete, whatever, you get coached.
Yeah, and yeah.
People are afraid of it,
even if
right?
you're not a professional, you can learn how to bake that cake better or make bread better or whatever. Otherwise, you're just repeating maybe what's not. I mean, my golf was that. I'd play golf regularly, but when I got a coach and he showed me some things, boy, did it change my game.
But I think as men, we're also adverse to that, asking for help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and part of this today, this is our first going to be our personal one-on-one, because you're going to coach me in some spiritual and life things. Great. I love to look forward to that. Because that's growth. And I'm going to, in turn, give that to my clients. Both paid and unpaid, they get the same, right? Because you retain so much more by teaching. But something you've done too, right?
Yeah.
Because people are out there who take teaching in colleges who have never done this stuff. It's all theory. Different.
It is there. I was on a call this morning with these international friends that I've made over the last year, and we split off into one-on-one coaching, just practice with each other and helping each other. And at the end, we come back and give some time in. What did you learn by getting coached? And people were saying. And then we said, what did you learn coaching? And you're right. Coaches are growing too, hopefully.
You know, as a coach, listening. You know, I remember when I was buying homes and I would get on the phone with people in the end, I would ask a question and I wouldn't talk till I got my answer. Just look around, put it on mute, okay? I need your input for next. When I coach people, same way.
And there aren't many people that will listen to us, Tom. So thank you for doing that with people, because it's a sacred
I wasn't good at it. I don't think I'm
space.
great at it still. You know, because what is, you know, like we read the 7 habits. You got to seek first to understand, okay? We have to listen. And then don't just dive in and say, oh, this is how I fixed me, right? I'm so good at that. Well, that's simple. It's not simple because that person is that person. They're not. Our lives are different. Our walk is different. What works for me may not work for them. We can give them help. We can give them guidance, suggestions, but we have to listen. And then we have to ask all the whys and the whats.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Yeah.
Why do you know?
And for me, it's trusting they know the answer already.
Probably.
And if I will listen enough, reflect back enough, and ask enough questions, that's right. And even if the answer I would have given them 2 days ago or 15 minutes ago, if they discover it themselves, it's much more powerful there
Yes.
than being told to do something or...
Given a fish, taught to fish.
Yeah.
Because now you've taught them how to problem solve if you're not available. I have a client, and she used to be she is an ex-cop. So very jaded in that world. It's hard. And she's a female from that world, very hard. Yeah. Her husband's a retired cop. So their real estate business is they want to support somebody who they put in jail, who is now a minister.
Whoa.
Exactly. And so that's what got them to me for free. I'm like, no, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
But then she fails, she whatever. So then we're having a talk just last week, and we're going through asking questions because I gave her a Saturday time to talk to me. I'm like, no, we need to talk. You can call me on Saturday. And I went for a walk for an hour, and we talked. And I just listened and asked why, a lot of whys and whats. And she's like, you're going to tell me this in a little bit, but you're going to say Lisa won't get out of way of Lisa will not get out of Lisa's way. And I was like, Yeah, you're good. You want a bill, right? Just kidding. But because that's the thing, she knows the answers, right?
And then to be able to own it,
Yeah.
articulate it.
She's jokingly told me that if I still had a gun, boy, I would use it on you. Okay? Because you know what? We have to hold people accountable. You know what you're not doing. Because it's so easy to fall into busy work. And it's like, oh, so you went into doing all the admin work. You don't have a big enough business to be doing admin work like that. So like, go do what you have to do. And so now we're going to go back to a normal schedule with her because she thought she could do it on her own. And it's the structure that I know how to build for her because it's my structure. Hey, let me show you how this works. And this is, look, you have a process and this person manages a process and then this person. But we map this process for you. We show everybody how to do the job from the beginning to end and who's involved. And it's just such a simple thought, but I didn't know how to do that a couple years ago. And then you work up from there, from the ease, right? And then you build these processes. But if you don't track everything, your KPIs, but there's KPIs to life. How can you go back and say what's working and what's not working? Right? You have to track it for long enough. But it's like when you track your weight.
Yep.
Oh yeah, my weight went up. Oh yeah, that was pie day.
Yes. Yep. Fascinating.
But this is like the benefits, like I can see myself doing more of one day. It's so fulfilling to help people succeed.
Really
like
is.
you know, like I take people on in my niche only right now, and others who are grandfathered in. People are like, but you're training competition. I'm training people to build affordable housing. You're thinking wrong.
You're training people to serve others. And there's just a lot of need out there. And we need good people doing that with a bottom line that's more than the profit. The bottom line is people.
The purpose, right, is there. Like, you know, so I watched my family, my mom and dad bought their first home in 1981. I was 10 years old, going on 11. What I remember is how hard life was because interest rates, my dad was sick and dying. That was their first home as, you know, because they were immigrants. And, you know, it was the American dream. The American dream has run away from this economic level. And, you know, even, you know, we know Frank Hopkins who said that stuff isn't an answer. Now he says your stuff is an answer. Okay, but it's that stuff still. Because we had to break the stigma of grandma's mobile home. It's not that. And I showed him a client of mine, my first buyer ever. She did everything right, Harlan. She was a single mom, 3 kids, never owned a home. She lived in an apartment in Tampa that cost almost $3,000 a month. Everything she made was going to apartment and the rest of it, right? It was 2-bedroom with 3 kids.
And you got her into what?
I got them into a small double wide, okay? 2+ years later, she sold it. She didn't use me, it's okay. She bought a block home. She received a $44,000 check. And along the way, she saved $18,000 more that she could never save before.
Yeah, built equity, stability,
learned
pride.
home. Yes. Yeah. She said, will you come and see the house before I sell it? Absolutely. Good use of time, right? Great hug from her. And I was like, man, this is what it's about.
So why is that story important to you, Tom?
Because people think they can't do it, right? That's the American dream. She became a citizen. She worked her butt off, 3 kids. She's a healthcare worker, right? She didn't think this was possible.
Yep.
She came into that house with 0 down. We helped, right? That's what we're supposed to do, okay? We made money, don't get me wrong. But we're able to offset, hey, we made more over here, we can do this, right? That's what being profitable is for. It's not just to put it in the account and look at it. Yeah, it's to help. Yeah. And, you know, that's the story that needs to be told. She won't come in studio. I'm trying to get her, though, right? I said, Maria, your story needs to be told because that will help other people. She's like, I hate that you told me that. I said, I'm going to keep telling you that. Because we all have stories. We all could give our stories out. That's going to help somebody. Because I used to be afraid to put things on Facebook. Not afraid anymore. I don't care, right? Frank Hopkins, no one cares. Don't worry about it, you know? Because I would get I need to post this. And I would hear a voice say, no, don't do it. But I know who was telling me to post it. And when then I post something and someone says, I needed to hear that today. I don't care if it's only one person. I don't care if nobody, because I know somebody needs to hear it.
Yep. Yep.
Because I needed to hear it, so should somebody. And I think people are so afraid of the ramifications for talking about faith, okay? Because, ooh, you can't. No, you can. But it's a dialogue that needs to happen. We need to not be so concerned with feelings of people where you're not hurting anybody. Hey, this is who I am. If you don't like it, turn the channel. Don't got to look at my stuff, right? I have told so many people, both left and right, if all you're going to talk about is politics, please unfriend me now. Because I'm tired of it. Because it's not the world we live in, right? It's too polarized.
Yeah, how can we listen, care for each other in that? You know, I came out of that day we spent with each other back in March.
Lake Eola.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice over there.
And, you know, I got back on, I ride Sunrail bound from DeLand when I can, just it's nice. And that day I realized what a power this mastermind is for these people. There are lots more people out there that need to experience
slow down.
that. Yeah.
But one day you could see cells as it's supposed to be. And maybe each one of the founders, as we call them now, right, probably should be, could have a cell that they're responsible for one day,
teach
right?
That.
Because then you plant it, right?
Yeah,
Ooh.
and it's got to multiply.
Yeah.
It led me to writing this story about Caleb.
Haven't read it yet, but I want to.
Yeah, it's not quite there. It's getting there.
Better hurry up. You're supposed to be done last month.
It was supposed to be done in June, and then September. I realized how much I didn't know about what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Editor got back a full draft in September, and I'm doing a 1 month day on Friday. Just locked myself into a carrel at the library at Stetson, and produced the second draft.
So
of that.
powerful when you just shut everything out.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I focused it so. Focus is such a big word. My coach, mentor, friend Gary Harper has a client. He's Korean. He says "fuckus." Everybody gets that attention, right? So we're creating. You know how you see in the dictionary where it says the word noun and what it means.
Right.
I'm creating one like a plaque that's for "fuckus" because you wouldn't listen to focus, right? If you learn to focus, I have ADD, and somebody said to me, "Let me show you something," because you think it's a superpower. Absolutely, no. He made me write. I forget how many lines it was, 15, and now we wrote a sentence at a time, one letter, 15 at a time. Dude, this is taking forever. So is your stuff, isn't it? I said, you're right.
Yeah.
So we shut all the noise off. I have 3 screens. I will never have my email. My computer and my phone are no longer connected because we can't focus. I took so far as this is really like my wife's so mad about this. When my wife wants my attention, she'll start printing stuff because the printer's there. So now you can only get to my printer from my computer because I took the Wi-Fi off of it. I have an internal lock on my door. That's not the key because she just feels she can come in. And one day I said to her, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're coming in here naked when I'm on a Zoom." She doesn't come in anymore, right? Because there's a time for things. I love her though.
Yeah, focus. I've been doing some work. These folks around the world that I was with this morning, we've been working on how do people get into flow? Studying athletes, how do they get into?
They stay focused.
Yeah, and it's they develop a skill, but then it's just beyond that.
Right.
They get out of their comfort zone just beyond that, not too far where they tear themselves up. Sometimes that happens.
Right.
But just that sense, and part of that's getting rid of the distractions,
Well,
which
flow,
you've done in
so
your
look,
office.
I have office days, Tuesday and Thursday, because bouncing around takes me out of flow.
Yes.
And so that's good then. And we track office meetings and all these things, but we have some metrics internally for me. And, they're much better on those 2 days because I'm not in and out of that flow. It's meetings. I know what this day is going to be. There's breaks and, but everything gets accomplished in that week because then I'm not traveling either, and I'm trying to have really good schedule because my kids have events. I'm going to be there. Yeah. Right. And
yeah, you mentioned me before. The kids are very, very important.
That's who it is. If I had to wash dishes, I'd be the best dishwasher ever. Right. But we didn't have parents who could be present for us. My wife and I both, okay? We didn't have parents who would say, I love you each and every day, right? We are those parents. But now the grandparents are that way with all the grandchildren.
Yeah.
They're the big, lovey-dovey like you would. Like, where the heck were you here, right? So, but because we've taught them.
Right.
And they love it.
And they see the effect it's having on your kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, all the grandkids, they're just amazing people. I was in Dallas, I'm behind the time, and my daughter's FaceTiming me because it's bedtime. Mm-hmm. Having a dinner meeting, very important. I said, I need a second. Walked away to FaceTime. 5 minutes, right? She called me. We're not saying no. Okay. They're like, well, what was that? I'm like, oh, that was my daughter. During the dinner meeting? Yep. The guy who was the big guy at the table came up to me and said, good job. Mm-hmm. I would have answered mine as well. It shows me who you are.
That's part of focus, is knowing where your priorities are,
mm-hmm.
isn't it? Some of us getting rid of the distractions so they don't interrupt you, but a part of that is knowing where I'm going. Kind of back to your piece here of casting a vision there. Where am I going?
Well, we talked about this earlier when my wife and I decided the business. We didn't so much, we had an idea what we wanted to do in real estate, mm-hmm. but we said, what life do we want from real estate? Because that's what you're really building. Mm-hmm. This business should build the life you want, and we wanted to be present for our children. We wanted to be helpful in our community, taking care of our parents, because at that point it was my mom and my in-laws. These are all financial burdens. Not the being present for they're present for our children too, right? Because we had them in great schools. We couldn't afford it in the beginning. Right. It all worked out, right? And the business isn't exactly what I envisioned, because I envisioned more being a big home developer, but mm-hmm. I am a home developer, yes. just different types of home.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what? That's what was supposed to happen.
And you're providing homes for people that wouldn't have gotten them if you'd been the home developer.
Probably, because I'd be building 400,000 or 500,000, right? Yeah. But that's, I love the saying, man plans and God laughs, right? I love that. Because we have to be so humbled by I have so much more patience today than ever before. I don't force anything. Before, if there was an issue and, I'm making a decision now, but I don't have to. Wait, listen, mm-hmm. and watch just things melt away, right?
Trust. I
firmly trust the Creator that I know He has good plans for me, right? Mm-hmm. As a song, I know it. Mm-hmm. Because I see it.
And He wants to use you, and you're trying to align with that. Mm-hmm. And there are a variety of ways you're doing that.
No perfect, right? Yeah. I have staff who tell me we have to be perfect. I said, when you walk on water, I will hold you to that standard. Until then, no. Because that's the enemy, right, of the progress we need to do.
There's a humbleness, you used that word earlier, mm-hmm. that's important there.
We're here to serve, Harland.
Yeah.
Okay, you of all people know this. I did not know this. I was an ego-driven person, right? My ego was my purpose. Mm-hmm. Everything is here to glorify me. Mm-hmm. And then I was humbled. Okay? And then because I had walked away from God knowing better. Thankfully, He didn't walk away from me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did I get in trouble with Him? Did I get exiled? Whatever. Yeah, I had to take a break from what I was doing. I had to walk away. I had to reconnect and understand. I had to learn who Tom was. Mm-hmm. And I'm still learning that today, right? Mm-hmm. Because the journey is so important for the growth of who me becomes. We're becoming somebody each and every day different. Yeah. A better version, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a journey. Mm-hmm. There's another word. I mean, you've used so many wonderful words today. Journey. We're on a journey.
Yeah. But the magic is the journey.
We haven't arrived.
Nope.
But we're here.
Oh, when we do, guess what happens?
Things in the past have brought us to this place. Doors have opened. People have been there for us. We're here, but it's a journey, and we're going somewhere else with this.
Make sure you enjoy the journey.
Right now is important in the journey, isn't it?
Because all we have. Yeah. Yesterday's gone. What's outside that door when we're done has not arrived. We don't know what happens, right? We have this moment. Let's make this moment special. Mm-hmm. And for someone who is always trying to rush through the end and then start something, I miss so much. Mm-hmm. That's why I told you, when I'm with my children, I have a phone that has no access to things because I was no longer being present for them. Mm-hmm. I don't want that.
Yeah,
because that moment is only that moment.
So you've had to structure that so you can be present.
I had to
make
take
some
it away
decisions.
from me.
Oh.
Okay? Because I can't be trusted with my work phone. Because it has emails. It has all these things that connect me to people, right? And so I call it, you ever see that movie New Jack City?
I don't know if I know that
It
one.
was like a 1990, it was a crack movie. And so he had a crack addict. His name was Pookie. And he said, the crack just be calling me. Mm-hmm. That's the phone. That's the email. And you have to, how do you sever it? Like that. You know what? For me, I don't trust myself enough. I'm going to get a different phone. Mm-hmm. Not enough people have it, let me tell you. And most people then would have to call my wife to get access to me, and she's going to be the arbitrator, or Jeannie, right?
Right.
And they're going to decide who gets to me. Somebody had reached out to my wife from work going around Jeannie, and Jeannie already told him it wasn't an emergency. When she found out that that happened, that person was gone because it wasn't an emergency. They pulled me out of an event that I'm with my daughter at, and it wasn't an emergency, and they were told. And I said, well, I don't care. That's on you. I don't I'm sorry, but it is, because we have to guard our times, and we have to show our children, you are the focus right now. Not to an extent where they're spoiled. I don't have spoiled children at all. Maybe the 8-year-old, but she'll change because she's 8-year-old girl, right? The 16-year-old, no. Okay? My rules are simple. Ready? Good Christian, good student, good human. Those are pretty broad, right? Who decides? Me. I'm fair, but I'm hard. I'm incredibly hard.
And you're teaching them how to decide.
Mm-hmm. But I'm teaching them responsibility first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I view that the day they are become this responsible adult and leave me, the best and worst day of my life. Because I've given them all I could, hopefully, to be successful in all they want to do. Mm-hmm. But they leave. Best and worst.
I've been through that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. My wife would be, she's like, I wish they would stay in the house forever. I said, it doesn't work, baby.
No.
Because I would move and not tell them where we're at.
And you don't get the other joys like Frank is talking about now with the grandkids. Yeah.
But then we don't see them grow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell my son, when he went to high school, they were like, no, he should be in all honors classes. He's like, I don't want to be. Okay, I don't care they say you should. And now he understands that the value of what they pushed him, because he's not lazy anymore. I said, his name is Aiden. Aiden, if you were dumb and you were stuck being whatever for, like, let's say you could only dig ditches, whatever, I'd be okay with that. I would still love you. It wouldn't be any different. And realize I have to take care of you. But they tell me I don't. I want you to be able to have all the choices that an education would bring you. Mm-hmm. And then choose something you love to do in life. Don't get a gender studies degree. Okay? But you want to be successful, don't you? He's like, absolutely. You want to be good at what you do? Yes. But he also says he wants to serve God in a way because he's been raised for that. Perfect. Now do what you're supposed to do every day. He was sick the other day. I came home. Yeah. I was sick. He ordered dinner for me, right? Oh, pretty cool. DoorDash, because my wife, after our quarterly, she got to leave early because Ella had a cheerleading thing. So I get home and he was like, yeah, because I was home sick from school for 2 days. Okay. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get changed and go to the gym. And I was like, just looked and he was like, I'm not going, am I? I'm like, is that why you waited to go till I came home? He's like, oh yeah, because you're lucky. Well, did you go to school today? He's like, well, no. So then you can't be healthy enough to go to the gym. Even tomorrow I have to limit you because I wouldn't want you to be sick. I know you have your friend's birthday on Sunday. I did let him go Saturday night, but nothing else. But he still do all his chores and a little extra, right? But he knew better than to push, right? Mm-hmm. Good man at 16.
Yeah. And all these values that you've been talking about here today that have helped shape your life are now shaping your children's lives.
But these are newer values. I didn't grow up with these. They weren't there.
But they're real for you now.
They are.
And you're working on
guardrails in my life.
Yeah.
Just like we have guardrails. This is how we do business. This is how we do life. I met with lenders last week and I raised 600 out of $1 million was offered to me. Mm-hmm. The guy with 600, we spent 4 hours of an hour meeting. Amazing. We aligned. We went to a coffee shop and didn't order coffee. We talked for 4 hours. We are so aligned. The other person, 28 minutes in, I had to stop him and say, this isn't going to work. But you need no, I don't. You're coming, this is complete. I don't work this way. This is how we work. And this doesn't align with what I do, right? Because that will be a problem later. 2 years ago, I take that money and all the problems with it.
There's another key word in it, to be aligned. Aligned with God, God's purposes, aligned with your values and how you run your business, aligned,
No perfect in that. I make mistakes every day, right? I'm sure my wife, like Barbara, reminds us of how imperfect we are.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, okay? As long as I try to be better. And my team, I have 2 rules. You know what it is? You can't call me bald and you can't call me fat. Anything else we can talk about. I'm good with that. That's the policy. We run this business like Toyota. You are on the line, you stop the line when there's a problem. Okay? And if we keep those, plus what we do, and keep in mind that we're here to serve. When we stop serving, we have failed.
Powerful statement. I hope other people listening catch that.
I went so far as to put my core values in my emails now. Here's the signature piece, number 1 through 7. We have these. These are my core values. Number 7 is kindness, by the way. That is my wife's core value. Okay? Our consultants challenged us. We didn't know this was a challenge, though. They said, no, you can't have that many. You got to get rid of stuff. And they wanted to see, would we sacrifice? And we would for each other. So now number 7 is there, and the other ones are like, very simple, do what you say you're going to do. Be a good team player, go above and beyond, be reliable, be accountable, reliable. It's not a bad thing.
No.
This is what I'm going to run like when we failed internally, I said, which one of these have you violated?
And to realize that's good for me when I'm in an organization where those are how all of us are operating.
And I didn't want it anymore just being talked into the quarterly and the weekly. Every day in the emails they get from me, there it is. You're not forgetting, right? Okay? But that's important because if this is what we're going to follow, why don't we see it every day?
And they're not easy.
Nope. But I believe in them.
Yeah.
It's a guardrail, right? I want everybody to understand that our journey, no matter what it is not an easy road. So many people accept so much less than they are capable of because they don't want to put the work in. I feel bad for them because the work is so important. It's a purpose, right? But, we all can suffer imposter syndrome. I do. I'm sure you have it at times, right? Because Harlan, when you were young, right? I know me in Miami, forgetting. I think I'm forgetting some, right? But we see our lives in totality. People who meet us today only know the best version.
Yeah, or the worst.
yeah, it could be that, and we have to remember that this is who we are. That's who we were. And you need to let that go, not forget, but forgive. Don't let that crap happen again.
Yeah, and then use it to remind you why it's so important what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's a foundation. My foundation in the past was built on bad soil, right? It did not grow correctly.
Didn't produce the fruit that you're able to do now.
I didn't give anything to charity when I was making that.
And that's that piece of we're here to serve others, which is fruit. We benefit from the fruit. I have a house and
we have
car
to.
and
we have
food
to
on
eat
the
too,
table,
right?
and
We have to, but we also have to understand, look, we tithe correctly to our church. And then there's this. And then there's this, and then there's more, right?
Absolutely. That's the fun part.
Because the fruit is there.
Yeah.
And that's so much more fulfilling. I don't know if you knew this, but when I lived in Miami, I had 11 cars at one time, and they would change. None of them were made in America, and none of them were under 6 figures. I had a 12-car garage. I couldn't put the 12th because that's how I'd get in, right? I don't have that life today because I realized what a waste. Because I should have bought real estate, right? But I didn't. But the point is that was a wrong way with the fruits I was given. I was not a good steward of that. Okay? I'm a better steward today. I keep pruning myself, right?
Ooh, yeah,
Yes.
that's a biblical image, isn't it?
Because you cut off the bad limbs and the better ones grow now.
Yeah. Or the distracting limbs, the competing limbs.
Or
with
the
what
drains in our lives,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, I've always said life is math, and it is in so many ways. Do people add or subtract value? Do they lead you in good places or bad? I don't have these people around anymore.
Yeah. That's part of realizing how precious life is, and I just don't have time for that. I love you and I wish the best for you, but
The whole going
it's not
out
good
late,
for you and not good for me.
Yeah. Look, my friends from the olden days invited me to this like big football thing a year ago. I chose to spend it with my son and Blake, the other man I mentored, my other son, all day instead. Because you know what? I know what I'm getting over here. This hasn't changed. It never will. These young men. And I get to spend a day with, they're my sons, both of them. I treat them both, right?
Create an experience for them.
But they created the experience for me because I hear them talk.
And it comes back.
Ask questions. But that's so I could have had that day. It would have been 2 with them because I would have been overnight in Tampa. And my wife was fully fine with it. But I wasn't. I'm like, what a bad use of time.
Boy, do we sometimes just,
I got so much out of the day because I'm watching these young men who I've known for, God, 8 and...
What did you do with them, Tom?
We went to the gym. We went to the gym. We went to church. It was a Sunday. We went to lunch. We hung out. We walked. We talked. I still made them clean the cars. Okay. But it was a day of learning from them as much as I'm able because it's a free-flowing day. Like, Wes, ask me questions. Hey, Pop, you know, because the give and take, right?
You created a space for them. You were there. You were present. And then they were available. They knew that they could then ask those questions. They could come to you with things that they might not come to other...
My door is always open for that, right? There has to be. I mean, he knows.
A door can be open, but if it's not a safe space inside,
you have to tell
they're
him.
Not coming in.
You know, I asked him, I said, Aiden, you're going to screw up in this world. What are you going to do? He's like, man, if you're here, I'm coming to you first. I'm just going to tell you, Dad. And I'm like, okay. You know it's not going to be easy. He's like, I know. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. I was like, I know. But I know you'll give me good advice and help. And the chips will fall where they may. And I'm like, absolutely. And for a 16-year-old to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Right?
Because there's so many 16-year-olds.
I couldn't have said that. Me and my father had every secret in the book. We didn't talk.
Yeah.
Right? Everything was a hide. I don't want that.
So many 16-year-olds don't have anybody.
Yeah. That's why I want to be a mentor one day. More. I do it, but I want to do more.
Yeah.
As time allows. That's where I'm going. Real estate is a vehicle to get me there, right? But that's why I say my business unit leaders are founders. They're going to let me do this. Yeah. They're going to help me do this, I say, right?
Cool.
Because they ask, what are you going to do? I said, what do you envision me doing? Well, you love the beach, yeah, but after day 3, what the heck am I going to do? Right? that's what it is, right? Would I be end of my productive days? I doubt it. I hope not. So you're saying I'm just going to stop bearing fruit?
No. That's why I don't say I'm retired, Tom. I say I'm repurposed.
Yeah. Because
the purpose
retirement
goes
means
on.
an end, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. And so many people retire and they stop growth.
And turn in.
Yep.
And it's
I can't see that
the
for me.
sense of,
I'm always going to, but I'm very focused and I'm very driven about where I want to go with this. And I'm open.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are younger than me. You run this thing. You serious? I'm like, yeah. Why do you think you're here for? Okay. But I'm very open with my team about direction because I feel that they need to know this is what we're doing. Because sometimes then if you don't tell them that, and then they think you're going left, but you're going right, they make plans going left. And you go right. Just like my sales manager, who I've known since I did my first flip with Ron Duvall all those years ago, right? Her broker and her brought the buyer, and then she sold my second home, so she's known me forever. And she wasn't my sales manager until recently, right? So I told her where I'm going with this. And she says, a week later, I have a proposal for you. I said, oh, Jen, I love you, but I'm married. right? Gotta have the jokes, right? You have to. Wouldn't be me, right? And so we then, met her, and she told me she wanted to come on as the sales manager, but also grow our new brokerage. So not only is she my sales manager in the dealership, she's my broker partner in our real estate venture. I trust her complicitly. She sells well. I don't have to worry. I use a term where I can say I turn my back to these people. Not in a bad way. I trust them there. I don't have. I'm available, but she's the one who said, "How did you go from that guy to this guy?" And I pointed at my bookshelf. Right? And then I gave her books.
So you've learned from others. Again, that's that piece of asking for help. And there's lots out there, isn't there?
So I brought gifts to all the people. I gave them a book, and I gave them the wristband for our new mortgage company as a, hey, we're the band, but here's in your book, right? I've read it. We're not doing a book club, so to speak, but weekly check-ins on what you've learned, right? And it's a Patrick Lencioni about leadership.
Yes.
Oh, such a great author.
Which is, he's done so many.
So many. I read them all,
yeah.
right? I met him. Gary Harper's client, Ryan Pineda, and Lencioni are friends, so I got to meet. Thank you. I love your books, right?
And the stories that he tells in some of his books, they're fables.
But he puts all that's needed. It's a great read and the leadership lessons, right?
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I looked for from the first mastermind with you to the one I'm in now, I want a community.
Yes.
That's one. And, you know, so I'm in collective genius. I don't know if I'm a genius enough to be there, but hey, they said so. Okay. They have different levels. Okay. Now they have a 4th level CEO. Not even thinking, like on one out of the metrics I make it, but later I'm not even ready. But they vet everybody. Are you a good fit for the community? And your numbers in your business? Not to disqualify you, but to put you in the right level.
People that talk the same language.
Just because you can swipe your card doesn't mean you're in. I love that. Because it's good for both. Are you a good fit for us? And I think they made a mistake and said I was, right? But I love the fact that we pray before the meeting on Wednesday morning, right? Prayer circle. The Jason Medley, who now brought in like a CEO to run it as he grows other things, right? He told us about what he was doing, and he cried as he said it was his time so this can grow better, that I give it to somebody who... What a powerful... A man who has built this... Look, this has like 900 members across different levels. Billions and billions of dollars in charities. It's... what I aspire to be, right? I found another community. When I went for the first time, like our group, I feel at home, but I'm not comfortable because I'm going to be challenged and pushed, but I'm expected to give. If you don't give, you don't stay, right? Because so many people just want to take. Fountain drain, right?
And that's up front. They you know that going in. That's their core values. And
like, you know, they had, you know, like my coach is there for years, and so they knew more about me when I came. And the first time I went, the night before the first Monday morning, they took all the new people, and this is what they do, orientation dinner. This is like your freshman class.
There you go.
The next morning, you go earlier, like an hour before we start, and they give you, ready for this, a Sherpa. A guy.
I love it.
Yes. And they wouldn't let me have Gary. No. You get something here. You're going to get this guy. Okay. What a great idea.
Yeah.
Because this big group, because I've been in others where they just throw you in there. They take your 30K, whatever it is, and just never talk to you.
But a Sherpa, what a wonderful image that is. I mean, climbing Everest.
Yes.
I can do it all by myself.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Right?
You need somebody that can breathe that air, knows
help
the mountain.
You breathe the air, help you navigate.
Yeah.
We all should be Sherpas for others in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Love that image.
Yeah. I thought you would, like, when I was like, oh, they called him a Sherpa. I'm like, I get it, yay, right? But it's just this place where I feel accepted. You know, I am comfortable with them, but I'm not comfortable with who I am enough. I need to grow more.
Yeah, and the Sherpa's role is a fascinating one too, because they point to the other person.
Up the hill you go, buddy.
They help them get to the top of the mountain.
That's the goal of it, right?
Yeah, that's their job, and they love it, and they're humble, and they're powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, that's part of the need to coach and be coached.
Yes,
That's
it is.
part of the need to grow, because you must reach back and help. So many people just want to keep it a secret. I'm not teaching anybody unless you pay me everything you can. People, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they're lost then, right? I find so much satisfaction in the give.
And that's a big piece for a lot of people. I've not found that you found.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Well, maybe with
Don't realize.
how you're going to help the veterans now, right?
Yeah.
Because there is just this other energy level you find in that I'm going to use all that I know. This imperfect person who I know can do so much for others. Yeah, we need to do more of this, right?
Yeah.
You know, because that's the fruit.
It is, and God opens your eyes to see things. You know, my vision, and I remember, he's probably Augie, asked us for a vision statement years ago, 10 years ago. And the vision statement that came to me then and has held since, and probably have had it all my life, is serve the people God puts in front of you.
Right there.
Yeah.
They put it in front of, like, we just have to remember it's in different mediums today, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we are so active in it, because somebody somewhere needs to hear something. Okay?
So
you have to give your story.
Yeah. So when Stetson called and says, we need somebody to come over and, again, you 75-year-old alum here, would you come in and be chaplain at Stetson again part-time?
Yeah.
I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Because
make
that's
this
your
work.
role, right? Yes. You will impact. I look at people in our group. Take Vinny. Hi, Vinny.
Yeah.
Right? I never had him on the radar for this group. Then you told the story, because I missed that. I think my wife had COVID or whatever. My family was sick. It was December. You had that impromptu, the meeting at your house.
Right.
You told me the story of how he came up to you and said how you, Harlan, impacted him years earlier. I reached out to him and started, because he was going back and forth to Buffalo. It was Christmas.
Right.
But right after New Year's, he had no clue he thought it was about the YouTube stuff. I didn't even know he did YouTube, right? Like, no, I'm talking about that. It's like, well, this. He's like, oh, what a powerful, right? Just plugging in.
Get the right people in the room. It really is amazing, and I wish more people could experience what we're experiencing, Tom.
They will. It's you know, it's.
They can often pull it together themselves. They might need a coach.
Right.
Might need to read something.
Learn to listen.
Yeah.
Right.
Get somebody to mentor on that, but it's relatively simple.
Yes, but it's like with everything else. You have to have the guardrails. Okay.
Yeah. Because it can turn into.
We have guardrails in our business, the faith, and our life. Okay, they're just the rules, and they're not complicated. But we don't like to follow rules. Like I love being out back, no rules, just rights. But my rules are my rules, right? And if I follow these, everything works out as it should. When we don't follow, that's when the problems. When we say with somebody, well, I know we don't align, but let's take a chance, and then it goes haywire. But you knew this, right? And that comes from having better judgment, discernment with things, you know? But people don't like that. And that also comes in, I think you and I are people who believe in accountability to the point where we have other people holding us accountable. I used to hate going to masterminds and seeing the same people the next quarter saying the same thing. Like, aren't you embarrassed? Right? No, but serious.
No growth between,
Like you're 90 days later, same stuff. It's like, life is not static. And you wasted 90 days. What are you doing, right? But that comes with saying, I want to be better.
And I've been there. I've been dry, treading water.
I've been in a wilderness, right? He kicked me out for a little bit, saying, you need a time out, Tom. You need to go think.
Yeah. And fortunately, mainly for me, I've had people that have drawn me back, loved me back, challenged me back.
I had a woman, I don't know if I told you this, right? I'm in Miami, I'm living crazy. The stores were making up to 100K a week in profit in the 90s and early 2000s. So imagine being in Miami, what trouble that can cause, okay? And I'm pulled over for DUI right in front of the condo I own where she's staying. I won't let her in my house because that's just a zoo, right? But it's right down the street, not far away. The police officer, we always give them everything free at the stores, health food stores, vitamins. He knew me. He didn't arrest me. He made me sit on the curb for 4 hours. Wow. From 9 a.m., I was just coming home on a weekday from partying. 9 a.m., 4 hours. Linnell, great family friend, still around, right? Another mom to me, came down out of the condo parking. She saw me, didn't say a word, and left. I'm just sitting there like, I wasn't going to leave. And when I saw her later that day, my father, who was a survivor and an alcoholic, she said, "You're just like your father, aren't you?" Bam.
Yeah.
And it wasn't drinking, it was the drugs that the money provided me without a problem, right? I never touched them again, Harland, ever.
It's that one word.
Sentence, right? Like your father, the man who hurt me so much.
Yeah.
But the son of an addict, right? There you go.
Somebody that speaks the truth that you need to hear at the moment.
Somebody who you trust.
Yes, it
right?
takes that.
And you know it's coming from a place of love.
Yes.
Which sometimes it's not from others. And
So the right person
me.
and at the right time in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then I went cold turkey that day. I became a shut-in in Miami. But it was 08 going into 09, 5 or 6 months later. The economy's falling apart. My businesses, the numbers are rotating the other way, right? And I talked to my accountant. He's like, "Man, they're just stores. Just walk away." And then my partner in the time, we made a deal and I walked away and I ended up in California. I didn't know anybody. Went to the desert basically, right? I exiled myself because I had to fix me. Because I knew better. I grew up. My mom raised me better. Mm-hmm. And then when I moved to Florida to take care of my mom when she had cancer, it was the life I have today is not what I ever wanted. I never wanted to be a father. I would never get married again because I was a bad first husband. Now I move here because I worked on myself enough. I said, well, God said, I can take you out of your desert now. You're needed here. So I've dealt with cancer so much in my family, got mom healed. We had the best 8 years of our life after that. Yeah. She got to see me as she wanted to see what she asked for. I became a husband, a father, which is I never wanted. And she watched all that. I wouldn't get married. Like my wife and I, we were within 90 days talking about it. I'm like, did she poison me? How did this happen, right? And it was because I had to change. And I'm still being better and better. And then I let a woman do a drip campaign in my brain who I trusted. But she said, will you come help me? She didn't say, let me come fix that. Mm-hmm. And after 6 months, she showed me a book of how childhood trauma affects adults. Mm-hmm. And it was the life cycle. And it was me. Because I would do spectacularly well. Then you know what happens? You explode. Because you're programmed to. She says, what do you think? I said, you might as well put a picture of me there. She said, what are you going to do next? I said, that's where you wanted me, next door. Because she had a nonprofit. She helped with whatever. But next door was her practice. Never stepped foot in that place. And I did. And she started to unpack the baggage. Yep. Right? To change my stinking thinking. And then Ron got me into real estate and all these things happened. Mm-hmm. But that one woman in one powerful sentence, then my mom passes. And I saw her a couple times in between. She comes to the funeral. She stays at the house and everything. And she tells me how all the stuff my mom talked to her about over the years since we moved together, good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And how I fulfilled so much for her with the family and just being in my home. With my children, her home, we always called it her home. Like we had double master, we built it for her, right? And before she died, we were gonna have a hospital bed put in there because that's what she was going. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't gonna stay in a home, we were gonna take care of her. And my children always saw me take care of her and said, why do you do that? That's what we do here. We don't just ship them out like people. And they understood because it's hard cleanup, right? Because she had issues. But those powerful words, wow.
Yeah. Again, you've created something for the next generation. You redeemed something for your mom.
For us, right?
Yeah.
We had a hard time, right? My mom was my only protection as a child. And every time I could, I took care of her, right?
Right.
When I did well, what do you want, right? And, but you're supposed to. It was different. It was a hard world. It's still a hard world, but it's a different world, right? Because I think kids today where they could have been protected because there was no social media and things. They're so, I'll use the term violated by intrusions of cameras and this, right? And every moment is recorded somehow. My God, if they recorded all our stuff, Harley. And I feel bad for them in that way because there's not a safe area then.
Where do you see God was at work in all of that? How do you articulate that?
That, first it's for Linnell to say the words to me, right? Because she just
So
called.
you look back on that as a God thing.
She called up and said, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm going to come to Miami. I need to see you. Yeah. Something said I need to come see you.
Yeah.
And then look at the cascade of events that were going to happen when she came. Because somebody needed to see that, to say those words to me. That wasn't by accident. That's not how that works. Okay? Into the wilderness I went. Okay.
And God dealt with you in the wilderness too then.
Yeah, because I had to learn. I had to change. I still had to evolve. Because I thought because I made this much money, I could do whatever I want. And that's not how it works. He's like, I gave you this, and this is what the story of the 3 servants, right? You blew it all? Or you did this? Yeah. You weren't a good steward with what I gave you. And I think about that, and I wasn't, right? Because I only took care of me.
Yeah.
I took care of mom, my girlfriends, but I had girlfriends and a wife. No, right? Wrong. Yeah.
So God thrust you into a wilderness there in a sense.
If I stayed in Miami, I just relapse, right? I go back because the environment is there. To change, we have to change environments, okay? In that, because all I knew in Miami was a party circle. I didn't have a church. A decade there, no church, right? I didn't have one. I'm sure they were there.
So you had community, but it was not.
It was the wrong community.
Yeah.
And so the yearning to find a community when I was ready.
I think for people that are watching this, for everybody to realize they need other people. God's created us for relationships.
Right? Yes, the relationship, the learning of it.
And to just take a look at who's the community you're with.
Is it a fountain or a drain?
There you go. I love that image you shared with me earlier.
Yeah.
Are they, for you, a drain that you're just getting flushed down?
Yeah.
Or a fountain that is filling you with fresh life?
So Sunday morning starts for me. I love worship. I love the songs. I cry. My children see me cry because it's so powerful, right? And some of the songs have so much meaning. Like Sunday's song just was like, oh, thank you. I'm not in a hurry, right? Patience, I'm listening, I'm learning to trust. Oh, such meaning of it.
Yeah, and living in that present moment of it. Yeah.
And then my father-in-law goes to his church and then comes to ours afterwards. He loves the worship part, right? He has an older church, right? And we always save a spot. We got his little communion cup there for him. But I love that he comes. I love that he shares that moment with us, right? And then Tuesday morning, it's a different type of, but it is community. And we start and end with prayer. I put work in that prayer, right? I mean, I chat GPT the grammar, but I make it the original one, right? Because, grammar and flow I need.
Yeah, a piece there, Tom, that I realized as we were talking, you and Greg and I, oftentimes our churches don't understand us as entrepreneurs. We have a hard time there. We get something there that fits us at that. And our entrepreneurial communities often don't understand us as people of faith because we're not allowed to talk about that, or we're too uncomfortable, whatever. So it is these two working together that give us this rhythm for life that so many people miss.
It's it's so for me when I go to these groups with you, and it's almost like I'm getting plugged in. Okay, you're plugging into a source. It's that source.
Yeah, and there's a plugging into each other where others are getting plugged, getting energy for you. Because I read through the Bible every year. I read about 15 minutes in the morning through. I'm in 2 Chronicles right now, kind of interesting. And but that's just me sitting at home reading. But the conversations we have around the lessons we do on Tuesday morning.
And the effort somebody puts in, right?
Yeah. And then the group flow that happens when you build off of this and somebody else builds off of that.
Because of the different, we have different perspectives of something.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, because it's like, ooh, we each give something every week that just, I'm always writing. Like it's a fresh piece because it needs to be, right? Yeah. Because I'll fill a whole page easily.
Yeah, and it's that Paul's image, the body of Christ. We need each other. You can't take the kidney out of somebody and set it over here and it can be isolated. It's going to die. Yep. And the body's going to die. We need each other. But
there's a different thought today that we don't.
I know.
And you'll go with her. Right?
I was telling somebody this week, we lived in Dallas. And I just admitted it today. We lived there. And there's an alley down the back and a garage in the back. And we drove our car into the garage and the garage door went down and we didn't know any of our neighbors. It was so easy. Fences up between yards. Garage doors down. Everybody's isolated. How sad that is.
Yeah. I feel that we've become such a transitional, like it's a nature where everyone's moving.
Yeah.
I had to yearn to leave anyway, but most people didn't leave back then. But I know my neighbors on both sides. We check in on each other because they're older. Yeah. I'll be the older person one day, right?
And they'll be checking on you.
Yeah, but they do check on us, right? Yeah. And we used to have block parties before COVID, but COVID fractured a lot. And it just made the world weird. It just did.
Yeah, a lot of isolation that highlighted or magnified.
Yeah.
And some are just now coming back.
Coming back. It was bad for the children because they need so much more, right? Thankfully, we live in free Florida, where it's different, right? But I remember like 2 years after everything was pretty much over here, I go to New York and they're like, why is everything shut? Oh, COVID. I'm like, it's dead, right? It's gone. Technically, it's just another flu bug. You're shutting the business? Oh, it's like fear mongers, right?
But it had that effect on a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I remember like when my mom had to go to one of the rehab centers because she had a heart attack during COVID, okay? And so I go to the one where she was going to go to, and I sit down with them, and they tell me everything. So I'm making sure we align, right? Okay. Kinder, gentler Tom they got that day. So my mom gets there. Okay, I go over that morning because she arrived, all right? I didn't know when she was going to go over. The ambulance has to take her. And I'm like, hey, checking in. Oh, you can't see her. What? Oh, because we have to COVID test her. No, she got 3 COVID tests in the hospital. We talked about this. They go, yeah, well, let me show you how you're going to see her. Through the window outside with a hedge, like I'm at a zoo. And I was like, that's not going to happen, right? And she's like, you think you can change this? And I was like, what is your name? She's like, it says right here on my shirt. You tell me, because I'm going to prove you so damn wrong in a minute. It's like, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to call Governor DeSantis. Don't you hear his rules about rehab and the elderly? By the way, you see this piece of paper here you guys signed yesterday? Look what it said my visiting hours are. Oh, but no. Where does it say, oh, but there? So let me tell you, Mary, whatever. 2 options. I'm going to get in there, or I'm going to call the governor. She's like, I'd like to see you try. I got you, girl. I love when people make me spin my wheels because they're going to be so hard. And you know what? I called there. I had an hour talk with somebody, and I was there that day. And I changed the rules in that place. They're like, well, we want you to tell you. I said, you're not going to tell me a damn thing. Let me tell you how this is going to work. You're here to treat her. I'm going to be here for the weekly meetings. I'm going to make sure she gets every damn appointment. I am going to scrutinize her bill. Oh, but no. I don't trust you because of what happened. Oh yeah, I ran him over because that's what they were trying to do to people. Isolate us.
Yeah.
Look at my mom through the window. She's 80-something years old. That would kill her.
Yeah.
I take my kids from school. It's right there. The school's right there. I pick them up. We go see grandma. We're going to see grandma, right?
Not through a window.
Not through. We're not at the zoo. We're not looking at snakes.
Yeah, I feel for so many that were locked out and their moms died.
Alone.
Alone.
No. I'm going to, she was like, she cried when I walked in there. She's like, they told me you were going to get through the window only. And she's like, but I knew you weren't. Girl.
Thank you for being bold. Humble and bold.
It's my
both.
mom, right? Because, when she was anywhere she was, even my father-in-law, I go twice a day. They need to know they're there for you. We're there for them, right?
Yep.
Just to hold their hand, watch a little TV. It could be for 10 minutes, but just so, you know what that 10 minutes does? They're not alone. Our group shows everybody to the group we're not alone. Because we don't know what's going on in their personal life so much, right? We know more and more now, right? It ends the isolation. It shows there's people who care. And, I think that's so important in life. Because we're so busy.
We are. Great this conversation just kind of broke into both of
Love
our
it, man. I love it.
busynesses.
We're going to
today.
wrap up in a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Give us some parting pastor stuff.
Well, I'm going to pull it out of you here.
Okay.
It's real easy to have problems with the church, and the church has created a lot of problems. And all of us that are in the church are like what that woman led me to finally say: we're all sinners in the sight of God. But don't stay away.
Find a different church.
Come be a part of some community of faith where you're giving glory to God and with God's people and serving out of that. So it's not just for you to come and feel good and that. It's for you to get empowered, plugged in, to go out.
But you have to find that. But your church should be a community for you that you enjoy going to, not something you have to do.
Yeah, and yet it is that piece you and I were talking about. It's not because it's because I choose to do it, and I make a commitment to do it, whether I feel like it or not. I think one of the reasons God had me to be a pastor is to get me in church on Sunday.
There you go. You had to go. Right?
To go.
But I could watch my church from my couch on Sundays. I don't enjoy it as much. I don't enjoy it. It's like when I was sick. It's a necessity.
And it does not communicate what it needs to. It doesn't bring you in to give glory to God as you
It's not the group. You don't feel the energy. Like I told you, we have a conversation about just the 6 young people in front of me that I was like, no. Like the next generation is right here. They have Bibles out, highlighters. Yeah. It's 11 o'clock Sunday morning. I'm sure they could have done other things, right? And I was like, you guys are amazing. You guys rock.
Yeah, and help the church be that. Don't just be passive member. Help the church be that for others, older people, younger people, your peers, married, single, whatever. Help the church be there for others, and the joy you get.
I've committed to joining a group in January.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go help. I'm going to tell you guys what I can do from a chainsaw to business, and you tell me where you think I can help.
There you go.
Okay? I'm not going to choose. Where do you need me to serve?
There you go.
Right?
That's a piece.
Because I would choose something easy, maybe. Please don't be 8 o'clock at night either. Right? Can you got anything? But I'm going to give them. An idea of what I can do.
Yeah.
Right? Some skill sets and whatever, right?
Yeah. So get part of that.
Right? Because I see, like, they talk about it where we have this older group, like they're in their 70s, and you have the 50s like me, and then the 30s, but you have these kids who are 18. Wow. What a chance to really...
Yeah.
They're my future leaders in my church.
They need you right now. They need people like you right now.
God, I would never think somebody would say that to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's a piece. So that's that weekly rhythm. Set aside some time to go spend with God, with a congregation. Grow there.
Just be generous in all things.
And then it's the everyday piece of this faith piece that's
Oh, yeah.
It's not just for Sunday. And so wake up in the morning, maybe a little early.
Roll over.
Yeah.
On the knees, thank the
Yeah.
Maker for the
Yeah.
day, the 24 you may have.
Yeah.
I do that every day.
And-
That's
and
my beginning.
Yeah, and more in Scripture. I mean, I've studied Scripture significantly through,
More than I have, I'm sure.
and yet it is always opening up to me
Yeah.
something else that God wants me to hear. It's God's word for us, and I guess those three.
I listen to it in the
community.
morning, right?
Yeah.
My routine is I roll
That's a
over
good
and I
way.
pray,
Yeah, yeah.
okay? And then I go downstairs into the office bathroom, I brush my teeth, and then I take the headphones. And I like this YouTube channel called Above Inspiration,
Okay.
because I'm putting in how I want my brain to think before it starts with what it wants, right? No, because it starts better for me then.
Right.
But I've prayed. It doesn't have to be long some days. I remember I had to, one of the Collective Genius Masterminds, I woke up late, oh my God. I had 30 seconds for Guy. But then I had to go out and meet these guys who are also Christian entrepreneurs. We're going for a walk. I prayed for the amount of time I had. And I told him I was late. He didn't get your prayer in? I said, why does it have to be so dogmatic? I rolled over. Hey, dude, man, I'm sorry, but I got these guys. You know what we're going to do? It's about you anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, that's it? Why does it need to be more sometimes? I gave what I had.
Yeah.
But they felt there had to have this ritual. It had to be so dogmatic. Like, look, I grew up Catholic.
So you know about that.
Oh, yeah. Latin Mass. I didn't know what they were saying. But I knew when to sit, stand, kneel, cross myself. So I was a good trained dog. That's because I didn't understand, but I knew exactly at what point. I just had to keep one ear. I could be reading the comic books. I don't know what he's saying. Oh, time to stand. Right? I just knew. Is that religion? I don't believe so. That's what alienated me from religion. There was no community.
So community's drawing you back.
Oh, it drew me back.
Good worship is drawing you back.
Let me get that good group singing, and it's like
your daily, not missing it. It's kind of like missing water or missing.
But how can I miss it?
breath.
Right? I roll over
Yeah.
and I get on my knees
Yeah.
because I'm not guaranteed the day. If you're going to give me it, I'm going to use it. Be productive and multiply.
We connected through a mastermind. I would hope others would find a small
something.
group of
Yeah.
people.
Prayer
to
groups, churches, whatever it's there for them.
Small
Because
group at church,
grow yourself.
something, yeah.
Be the tree God wants you to be.
And in that, help the others.
Your success is not the end of it. You have to reach back and help. There's that. You ever hear that Denzel quote? When you make it, reach back and help at least one.
There you go.
At least one.
Yeah.
What joy you will have. And I think people think that as an entrepreneur, the joy is in this over here. No. When you start teaching somebody to be able to be fruitful and you watch them, powerful.
Powerful. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Tom, good to be with you.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. I appreciate it. See you guys soon.